Welcome to DFP's personal collection of our favorite Disney World tips for your best trip ever. Come on, take a seat, pour yourself something to drink, and let us do all the work as we craft your vacation of a lifetime. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Vlog. Planning a Disney World trip can be daunting, but we want to make it a whole lot less so, which is why we've gathered new tips and classic tips and tips you may have never thought about before to bulk up today's video, make you feel like you're ready to take on, as the title says, your best Disney World trip ever. We have been doing this for decades, y'all. We've got all the best tricks and tips, the newest ones, the ones that work the best, the ones that nobody even talks about, so you are in the right place. Now, we're starting with a Disney World app tip, and it's to add the app to your lock screen. Technology is great until it's not. Apple recently released the iOS 18 update for the iPhone, which will now allow you to add the My Disney Experience app to your iPhone lock screen. Once you're up to date, touch and hold the lock screen until the Customize and Plus buttons appear at the bottom of the screen. If they don't appear, touch and hold your lock screen again and enter your passcode. From there, tap Customize and then go into your lock screen options. You'll have to replace one of your currently preset widgets to pull this off. You can always just switch it back to normal at the end of your trip. It's just nice to have this app up front and center in your iPhone's lock screen for easy and quick access at all times. Now, if you know anything about DFB, you know how much we love our loaded fries. And now Disney has 7 new loaded fry options available in the parks. So where can you find this Justice League of loaded fries? The buffalo fries, seasoned in ranch and drizzled with buffalo ranch sauce and blue cheese dressing, are served at Disney's Hollywood Studios ABC Commissary, Backlot Express, and Rosie's All-American Cafe. The street corn fries, topped with roasted corn relish, cotija cheese, and cilantro lime crema, are at Intermission Food Court, End Zone Food Court, Riverside Mill Food Court, and Everything Pop Shopping and Dining. Those are at a bunch of value and moderate hotels. The amazing Magic Munch fries with sweet corn, chipotle mayonnaise, chili lime spiced cotija cheese, and popcorn are at Flame Tree Barbecue and Restaurantosaurus in Animal Kingdom. The Cuban fries with mustard, Swiss cheese sauce, ham, and pickles are available at Centertown Market, Landscape of Flavors, World Premiere Food Court, and Sasagula Floatworks and Food Factory. Again, those are a bunch of value and moderate resort hotel food courts, which you can absolutely go to even if you're not staying there. The barbecue fries are seasoned and topped with coleslaw, sweet barbecue sauce, and ketchup aioli. Those are going to be at Regal Eagle Smokehouse in Epcot. The black garlic, truffle, and Parmesan fries are at Magic Kingdom's Columbia Harbor House, Cosmic Ray's Starlight Cafe, and Pinocchio Village House, as well as Connections Eatery in Epcot. And finally, what's probably the most interesting new fry combo of the bunch goes to the original Fry Haven, Mr. Kamal's. That's in Animal Kingdom. We've been getting fries here with dipping sauces for so many years, and unfortunately the fries with dipping sauces have been kind of lackluster lately because there's only one dipping sauce left and you used to be able to get a bunch. So it's cool to have a new fry option, and this is the strawberry chocolate fries featuring cinnamon sugar dusted French fries topped with chocolate ganache, strawberries, and honey cream cheese. Again, get them at Mr. Kamal's in Animal Kingdom, and they're also at Primo Piatto at Disney's Riviera Resort. Cast members tend to bend over backwards to make sure our Disney World vacations are magical time and time again. They're doing things that you're not even seeing them do. So if there's a certain cast member who really went above and beyond for your family, it only takes a minute or less to brag about them to the rest of the company. To leave a mobile cast compliment, visit the My Disney Experience app and search Cast Compliment. From here, you can enter the reason for your compliment, the location, name, hometown, and date of your interaction. Spread the love, and that cast member will actually get recognition for that experience with you. So absolutely 100% take a few minutes every day to compliment some cast members. It makes a big difference. All right, in 2025, y'all, Disney World is going to have a new hotel perk. On your hotel check-in day, and only your hotel check-in day, you'll be able to visit one of the Disney World water parks for free. So if the water park you're visiting just happens to be Blizzard Beach, that's going to reopen in November, and you're planning on riding every single water ride that's there, then we need to have a little chat. Summit Plummet is a giant body slide that'll drop you straight down 210 feet. It is thrilling, if not slightly painful, and very much wedgie-inducing. So if you want to conquer Summit Plummet, here's what you need to do to make sure you're set up for success. First, make sure you're wearing a swimsuit you can really rely on if you're picking up what I'm putting down. In order to ride this one, you cannot have any zippers on your suit, nor can you wear shoes. So if you're wearing shoes, a lifeguard will ask you to hold them as you ride. 2, keep your arms crossed, legs crossed, and head back the entire time. And 3, take a deep breath before you reach the very end and hold it so you don't accidentally swallow up a bunch of water. And since you're going to be saving money on water park tickets, you might want to use that money instead to make your Typhoon Lagoon or Blizzard Beach day a whole lot more bougie and easy. Luxury cabanas are available at each water park for day rentals with room for up to 10 or 12 guests. Each cabana features cushioned seating, towels, refillable water park drink mugs, a locker to store your belongings, and a cooler filled with ice and bottled water. If you're hungry, you have an attendant available to take and bring food orders to your group too, although separate charges for food do apply. And last-minute cabana rentals could still be available on the day of your visit on a first-come, first-served basis. But you can also reserve them ahead of time through the Disney World website or My Disney Experience app. And heads up, if you don't want a whole cabana, there may be ways to rent just an umbrella or a little area for your family to sit. Now, I don't know about you, when I go to water parks, I always stress out that I'm not going to get a seat or I'm not going to find a good place to stay that's in the shade or whatever. So kind of locking this in beforehand, that's a huge major tip, especially if you're going to be at the park all day. So the other day, one of our DFB writers asked the team, what are your favorite packaged snacks to pick up around World Showcase? And for the remainder of the day, I kept getting pinged with message after message after message of recommendations, and I loved every second of it. So thanks to our awesome DFB writer team, here are the top answers for best Epcot packaged snacks, straight from the creative minds of the DFB squad. Starting in the Mexico Pavilion, you can buy tequila candy for those of you who still want to drink around the world, but maybe more on the easy level instead of the hard mode. The Norway Pavilion has stroop waffles that you can place on top of your hot drink to make the caramel inside all warm and gooey. If you just can't get enough of the caramel goodness from Caramel Kusha, you can pick up a whole package of Werther's caramels from the Germany Pavilion. The China Pavilion is one of our favorites to stop by for unique potato chip flavors, including cucumber, honey butter, spicy crayfish, and maybe even octopus meatball. Hey, don't knock it till you try it. Inside the Italy Pavilion, you can pick up pre-packaged panettone, which is an Italian sweetbread or cake. The Japan Pavilion has lots of unique Kit Kat flavors like lychee, green tea, chocolate orange, and so many more. The France Pavilion is a great spot to pick up a box of Maxim's chocolates, which features flavors like pistachio and caramel. The UK Pavilion has Jammy Dodgers, a very popular British biscuit/cookie made from shortbread with a fruit-flavored jam filling. And Bria's personal favorite is the Coffee Crisp bar inside the Canada Pavilion. She will pick up a couple of those bad boys and whip them out whenever she starts craving a chocolate wafer coffee tasting snack, which is more often than you might think for Bria. Now, if you choose to drink around the world or drink anywhere around Disney World, please do so responsibly. We want you to have fun, but we also want you to stay safe and hydrated and not sick for the remainder of your trip. But just as long as you're in the UK Pavilion picking up those Jammy Dodgers, you might be interested to know that they also sell something called Hangover Drops inside the Tea Caddy shop. These are little rounded mint tins with lozenges inside that are made with ginseng and natural fruit flavors to help give you, as the tin says, a welcoming pick-me-up. Let me know what you think. Okay, one more water park tip, and then I promise I'll move on with my life. Let's say you go to Blizzard Beach shortly after it reopens on November 4th, 2024, and you're all like, wow, that was life-changing. I want to go to Blizzard Beach as much as feasibly possible right now. Well, guess what? You can do that thanks to the water park seasonal pass available for purchase right now for $79 per person. Now, I'm not going to lie. I got totally taken in by this because I went to Typhoon Lagoon in September with my friend Quincy from All Ears, and I was buying a water park ticket and it was $74. And I'm like, wait a minute, I can get a season pass for $79? So even if I go to a water park one more time in the next like 6 months, I get more than my money's worth. That's a great deal. So good job Disney for making us spend an extra $5 when we didn't really need to. With this pass, you can visit whichever Disney World water park is open at the time as much as you like, up through May 23rd, 2025. Blockout dates for this pass do apply for April 12th to the 20th, 2025. But hey man, you want to go to a water park twice? You're going to make your money back right away. Depending on how you go about booking your Disney World vacation, you might be entitled to a lot of fun extra perks. For those who book a Disney vacation package, which bundles the cost of your hotel room and theme park tickets, you are also going to receive, believe it or not, this is something a lot of people they don't look at the fine print, so they don't realize they're getting free stuff. 4 vouchers for one 18-hole round of miniature golf, which you can use on either the Fantasia Gardens course or the Winter Summerland course. 4 vouchers for the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex, and several discount opportunities for dining, shopping, and entertainment all around the Disney Springs district. You can learn all about the current vacation package discounts over on the Disney World website, and I highly recommend you go ahead and take a look, because if you're going to book a vacation package, definitely get your money's worth and use the free stuff. So not to be confused with your Uncle Stanley or your Cousin Stanley or Flat Stanley or your no good dirty rotten pig stealing great-great-grandfather Stanley Yelnats. If you've got a Stanley thermos back home, why not bring it? Or another one of your comfort refillable water bottles to use around the refillable stations located in each park for constant hydration. All vacation long. Nothing better than that. You can find all the park's refillable water bottle stations on your My Disney Experience app by typing water bottle into the search bar and then tapping on the Find on Map option featured on the main refill station page. Now here's part 2 of my refillable water bottle point. As much as we love promoting using the water bottle refill stations around the parks for quick and free hydration, I'd be the first to admit that these stations can be unpredictable. Bria has a story to exemplify this. During her last visit to Disney World, she used her reusable water bottle inside Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in Hollywood Studios, and the water tasted cool and fresh. But just a couple days later, she filled it up at Cosmic Ray's Starlight Cafe in Magic Kingdom and was greeted with that warm, slightly sulfur, swampy taste that Florida's water is infamous for. Now, I recommend filling up your water bottles at these stations regardless, though you might want to taste test the water before you completely fill your bottle with something you're not going to end up drinking. But if you're looking for the best tasting free ice water around the parks, quick service locations tend to have H2O that's a bit more reliable and a whole lot less swampy. Several locations around the park might also have self-service water stations where a fresh water pitcher or container is provided for you to serve yourself the good stuff. Now, our favorite self-serve water station tends to be right inside Spice Road Table at Epcot, just before you walk up to the host stand, but you can also typically find self-serve water stations outside Casey's Corner in Magic Kingdom and inside Baseline Tap House at Hollywood Studios. This is especially during those really hot summer days, but they might be there even when it's not so hot outside. And what if you're still hit with the water that has slightly swampy flavors to it? Bring flavor packets in your park bag, like Liquid IV or, like a little Country Time lemonade sachet or whatever. Not only will this help perk up your water with something fruity, but some of those hydration packets can also double as hydration multipliers, if you believe in that sort of science, meaning they'll provide you with extra electrolytes to keep you hydrated longer. Now, heading back into Epcot, I can't stop thinking about French fries, so I'm going to give you this tip just because it's a tip that I use all the time. Back in the good old days, we loved to order one of our favorite loaded fry options, the burnt end fries from Regal Eagle Smokehouse in Epcot. That stuff was off the chain, but earlier this year, Epcot took it away from us, and we were all sad inside. Until we saw it return one fateful summer day. It was almost like a mirage. Surely this wasn't our beloved burnt end fries beckoning to us once more, but it was. Though we did learn there was a catch tied to our reunion. The loaded burnt end fries are not always going to be around and will only pop up in this quick service from here on out for a limited time, subject to availability. You're also not going to see them featured on the Regal Eagle Smokehouse online menu. So how then will you be able to tell if the fries are available during your visit? Well, you'll have to head over to Regal Eagle yourself, cross your fingers, and hope for the best. My advice, try hitting up the restaurant earlier in the day rather than later on, because if they're available, you'll want to order before they're gone. So what should you do with your bags on Disney's most popular rides? It's so annoying when you've got a backpack or diaper bag or whatever, and you're getting on those rides and there's nowhere to stow your bag. Like, Disney doesn't use lockers like Universal does. So what are you supposed to do with all your stuff when you're about to board a Disney ride and they're like, hurry up, pull on the yellow tab, pull down the lap bar, go faster? Does anybody else get anxiety when they're getting into a ride and you're like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot how to buckle a seat? seatbelt. There was one time that I was in Tokyo Disneyland and one of the cast members literally buckled my seatbelt for me because I wasn't doing it fast enough. Like, I'm in my 40s, like I've buckled lots of seatbelts, but no, I wasn't doing it fast enough. Anyway, the attractions at Disney World are designed to have space so you can bring bags along with you when you ride. And you can bring your bags onto almost every ride at Disney World, including the coasters, except for Tron. If you're riding one of the attractions and you have a bag that's bigger than the ride's provided pouch, think like a backpack or a shopping bag, place your bag at your feet as soon as you get onto the ride to prevent it from moving around or falling or damaging the contents inside. Now, a lot of us use what we call the bag trick, which is where we actually loop a leg through one of the handles of our bag, whether that's a backpack handle or a tote bag handle or whatever, just so that the bag doesn't go out flying, wherever when you're on a loop-the-loop or something. So make your bag into an ankle bracelet and then you can feel confident. Now, there's lots of other little tips with bags and stuff like that. If you are on a ride that's going to be throwing you around a whole bunch, make sure that you have zipper pockets zipped. Put your sunglasses and everything into a zipper pocket and zip that closed. Your phone, you don't want that thing going flying, right? So make sure that you have some places that you can actually close when you're riding. Now, on rides where you may be way up high, like Soarin' or bumping around a lot, like Avatar Flight of Passage, Disney does have designated storage bins under or next to the seat where you can store your bags without either worrying about them falling off or being lost or stolen. Currently, Disney has 2 attractions that provide special lockers to store your bags. Kali River Rapids has lockers nearby where you can store any electronics or accessories that you don't want getting wet. And Tron Light Cycle Run, like I said before, anything larger than a phone needs to be placed into a locker. Now, these lockers are free for those who ride the attractions, and there are cast members on hand to help you out if you need them. When you purchase multi-pass lightning lanes, you initially have to pre-select the same 3 lightning lanes for everyone in your party. But what happens when everyone in your group wants to ride Tiana's Bayou Adventure, but Aunt Susan doesn't want to get her hair wet? Is she allowed to book a different lightning lane, or is she stuck hanging on to the same 3 as you? Once you make those initial selections and complete your lightning lane purchase, you can use the My Disney Experience app to modify what you've got. And you can choose to modify those lightning lanes for the whole group or for just one member of your group, subject to availability. That way, when everyone else is using lightning lanes to make a splash down in the bayou, Aunt Susan can go use her lightning lane over at Pirates or Jungle Cruise or whatever. Just make sure the rogue member of your party has access to your group's My Disney Experience app so they can access their lightning lane even when they're off by themselves. Got a large travel party with ya? Disney's multi-bedroom suites can be too pricey, but staying at an Airbnb instead won't give you all the Disney hotel perks. So you might want to find a happy medium by booking 2 standard hotel rooms that have adjoining rooms. You can make an adjoining room request online or by calling 407-939-1936 to speak to a cast member directly. Remember, this feature is dependent on availability, but it can be a great way to sleep up to 8 guests in your group without breaking the bank. Disney's hotel pools want to make sure you're as relaxed as humanly possible, so they've got several different amenities that you'll want to take advantage of. For example, many, not all, but many of the resort's feature pools have storage lockers to stow away your stuff. I didn't even realize this. I knew I'd seen them at Contemporary, but I just saw them for the first time over at Port Orleans Riverside. They've also got them at Coronado Springs. Now, you typically have to pay for these lockers, so make sure you got cash on hand. Feature pools also have restrooms and showers nearby, so you can wash up after you're all done swimming and ready to move on to your next big Disney adventure. And all Disney hotel pools have free towels for you to use, so you don't have to worry about bringing your own towels down from your room. So, heads up and spoiler alert, Disney isn't a hub that sells everything your heart and head yearns for. So make sure to pack these things if you can't bear the thought of not having them all vacation long. First up, gum. Unless you pack gum in your carry-on to help break up the pressure when your ears start popping as the plane descends, don't expect to find any chewing gum in the stores on Disney property, not even at the Orlando International Airport. While Disney doesn't sell gum at any of its locations because it's a sticky, gooey mess that tends to be more trouble than it's worth, it technically isn't banned from the parks. If you bring some in, just make sure you dispose of it in the trash like the good noodle you are to help out the cast members who sure don't want to be scraping wads of your gum from the undersides of tables. Item number 2, Pepsi. The Coca-Cola Company has exclusive rights to sell their beverages at Disney World, but if you absolutely cannot live without the non-Coca-Cola stuff like Pepsi products or Dr. Pepper, make sure you either bring it with you or you have some delivered to your Disney World resort via Kroger delivery. But note, non-Disney hotels might sell Pepsi or Dr. Pepper products too, since they don't have to follow the same strict Coca-Cola rules that Disney does, which is why you can also pick up a bottle of DP from the Swan and Dolphin hotels. Listen, we all have our own soda goblins deep down that we have to satiate, so if your inner soda goblin demands the Dr. Pepper, go get the Dr. Pepper. Not everyone wants a cocktail in Disney World, but that doesn't mean non-cocktail drinkers don't still want a fun and fruity concoction to sip on during their vacation. Unless a cocktail is pre-made, like you'll find at Oga's Cantina in Galaxy's Edge or Choza de Margarita at the Mexico Pavilion, there's a good chance your bartender will be able to whip up a cocktail for you with all the same ingredients minus the alcohol. This will also make it a cheaper price for you as well. Personal example, when I was pregnant and visiting Tambu Lounge over in Polynesian Village Resort, I really wanted a Lapu Lapu. I wanted a drink from one of those carved out pineapples because that's what screams vacation to me. So my bartender was kind enough to hold the rum and the other rum and the third rum so I could still get my tropical drink fix out of a fresh and tasty pineapple. Mobile ordering can be your saving grace at Disney World quick service spots, but only if you know how to use it the right way. Otherwise, it might go from being a convenient service to a frustrating one. When you go to place a mobile order, you'll be asked to select a return time window. In some instances, you'll be able to choose available now and pick up your entrees as soon as the hungries strike. But return windows can fill up at the more popular quick service spots, and that's why it's important to figure out where you want to eat and place your mobile order before you're hungry. Trust me, it's not fun to be around a hot, tired, and hungry person who won't be able to pick up their food for another hour or so because that's when the next available pickup window is open. Just ask my husband. So at the beginning of your day, or at least an hour or two before you want to eat, put in your order for that popular quick service location and select the pickup window that you know is going to work best for you. Marco Polo games in the pool? Fun. Marco Polo games in the parking lot after a long theme park day when your car won't play along? Not so fun. You can help out future you by taking a picture of where you've parked your car that you can refer back to when it's time to track it down again when you've walked 20,000 steps and you're completely exhausted. The My Disney Experience app also has a car locator feature, which you're going to find listed under Getting Around options. The feature will find and save your parking information for you. You just have to make sure to enable location permissions on your device beforehand. But let's say you're just way too excited about the start of your park day and you forget to do all of that. Happens to the best of us. If you can't find your vehicle, check in with a parking cast member. They keep an ongoing sheet of what time each of the parking rows are filled throughout the day. So if you can give them an approximation of when you parked, they can help you direct to where the cars were being parked at that time. Brilliant. I know you don't want to think about how Disney World often closes rides or sections of their hotels or even transportation options because that just gives you something else to stress over on top of everything else. But Disney doesn't close things to purposefully make you upset. They close things so they can give certain attractions and amenities some much needed updating. That being said, an unexpected closure can still be frustrating. So to make sure you're not kept out of the loop, here are some things you can do to look ahead and keep track of Disney's ongoing construction schedule. First, check on an attraction or hotel-specific page featured on the Disney World website. If there's a scheduled refurb that Disney wants you to be aware of before your trip, they'll list it toward the top of that page in bright orange text. Second, we keep an updated list of Disney closures and construction on our DFB website. So type Disney Food Blog plus closures into your Google search engine and hopefully that page will appear. Third, along with our YouTube videos and social posts, we can send any new closures and refurbs that we find straight to your email once we learn about them, if you're part of our free DFB newsletter. So if you want the latest 411 at all times, I'll link our newsletter sign up down in the description. So come and join the party. Purchasing Memory Maker can be a great investment if you're wanting all the pictures taken of your group via Disney's PhotoPass spots. However, Memory Maker is expensive and it's going to cost you either $75 for one day, $185 for your entire trip if you purchase it in advance, or $210 for your trip if you purchase it in the middle of your vacation or once you get back home. That being said, if you're only wanting to purchase one or two PhotoPass pictures, just to have at least one professional photo in front of Cinderella Castle hassle with your whole group, you're more than welcome to purchase those PhotoPass pictures a la carte instead. Just go to the Disney World website, select the My Disney Experience tab, and click on the My Photos option. This is going to show you all your PhotoPass photos from your entire trip, the good, the bad, and the cranky. Find the photo you want to purchase and click on it to pull up the option to buy it individually. Just a heads up, this a la carte purchasing option is only available on the Disney World website, not through the My Disney Experience app. So if you haven't been able to find this option just yet, that might be why. Laugh at the word underpants all you want, but when you're inside the parks and a bathroom emergency suddenly strikes, you can fill in the blanks however you see fit, then you're going to be real thankful to have an extra pair of undies on hand so your theme park visit doesn't come screeching to a halt. Same thing goes for an extra pair of shoes, though that's a little less embarrassing to talk about, but still just as important. Hitting 20,000 steps every day for a week can make even the best shoes uncomfortable, so be sure to pack more than one pair, just in case your trusty old sneakers suddenly aren't so kind to your poor blistered feet. If you don't have room for an extra pair of shoes in your park bag, bring backup socks instead. You'll be surprised how great a fresh pair of socks can feel midday, especially if you've just encountered an infamous Florida rainstorm. Now, back to the underpants. I'm not telling you to necessarily bring extra underpants with you to the park. You might need to do that for some of your kiddos who, could have accidents and also could get caught up in those splash pads. And if you personally need an extra pair of underpants in the parks, you know who you are. But my key is just bringing a bunch of extra pair of underpants on your trip, because I tend to change mine a couple times a day. Not gonna lie, you get sweaty. If you can't, or if you don't want to, shell out the big bucks to get annual passes for your entire family, have you ever considered just buying one? There are plenty of benefits you can score in the parks with just a single annual pass holder in your group. For instance, APs can get discounts for their whole party at select Disney restaurants. Gift shops, you can get massive discounts on your hotel room, special events, and tours. They also receive complimentary parking at Disney theme parks, whether you're staying at a Disney-owned hotel or not. Quick word of warning though, annual passes are very expensive, especially for out-of-state guests. So you'll have to crunch the numbers before deciding if all the additional discounts are really worth the extra AP splurge for one member of your family. But the best advice on this is plan to go to Disney World 2 years in a row and buy the AP to go the week you want to go this year and then go the week right before next year so you get 2 trips out of that AP. We get it. Ticketed events like Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party are an added expense to your already pricey trip. But these events will give you access to a full evening at Magic Kingdom with far fewer crowds than your typical Disney day. Plus, you get to check out exclusive holiday entertainment all night long to help get you into the spirit of the season. While these parties typically start at 7 p.m., make sure you show up early because party ticket wielding guests are welcome to enter the Magic Kingdom as early as 4 p.m. for a pre-party mix-in. Heads up though, this advice has gotten around, so that first influx of party guests at 4 p.m. is massive. So don't freak out when you see all the people in line to get in at 4 p.m. The park will absorb them, I promise. It's not going to be horrible. So now I'm really starting to get some Disney World FOMO. I don't think I'm bendy enough to fit in your suitcase, but I know how you can take me and the rest of the DFB team in the parks with you so that we can keep giving you tips and tricks and hacks all vacation long, and maybe you can buy us a souvenir. And that's by picking up our DFB Guide to Walt Disney World Dining over on the dfbstore.com website. This guide lists out every single Disney World restaurant on property and lets you know all about the latest discounts, Disney dining plan info, budgeting tips, anything else you might be wanting to know when it comes to munching around the parks. We're talking secret menus, happy hours, all kinds of tips and tricks from, at this point, 40 years of trips to Disney World. And that's just me. Our team combined probably has like 300 years of trips. And because we want to thank you extra for being a part of the DFB family, be sure to type in code YouTube before you check out so you can save some money on your total guidebook purchase. Okay, so you know about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, you know about Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, but Disney has more specialty events beyond just those 2 seasonal Magic Kingdom ones that you might want to check out too. So here's a quick list of specialty, separately ticketed events that might become the missing puzzle piece in your Disney World vacation. First, Jollywood Nights. Those are over in Hollywood Studios, and it's returning this Christmas season for its second year of holiday exclusive snacks and entertainment and character meet and greets and just holly jolly spirit. We're also going to get some new entertainment added to the party this year. There's an ice skating show, more characters, and even a parting gift of 6 champagne-flavored Wonder Maid marshmallows and a special Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy box. I know, me too. I feel the same way. Okay, after hours. After hours are going to be returning in 2025, allowing event ticket wielding guests the opportunity to stay in select parks up to 3 hours after they close to everybody else. You get low crowds, short wait times, and complimentary snacks all evening long, as many Mickey ice cream bars and popcorn and soda and water that you can consume. Run Disney hosts several race weekend events throughout the year, with distances ranging from 5Ks to full-on marathons. There are even distances just for kids. Each race also includes health and fitness expos, fantastic race bling showing off the medals, Disney characters along the race courses, and a ton more. But quick word of warning for you, if you're not planning on attending one of these races. These weekends, when Run Disney races are happening, tend to be really busy for the parks, so you'll want to hit up the rides as early as you can before all the racers start piling in. Now, here's something that's often overlooked by folks. Many of the restaurants around Disney Springs often feature some sort of limited time event where you can do a cocktail tasting or participate in a culinary class or even join a party that features celebrity chefs and exclusive eats, not typically featured on their menus. We've seen these kinds of events happen at restaurants like the Edison, Maria and Enzo's, Eat by Manit Shawan, Morimoto Asia, Raglan Road has 2 of them every year. And whenever we hear about a specialty event like this, we make sure to notify you immediately and give you the details for how to sign up over via our newsletter. But if you're wanting to do a little searching on your own, check the restaurant's main page to see if there are any Disney Springs events planned in the future.
Hey everyone, it's DFB Bria, again, with her Disney pin obsession, again. Do I have a problem? Probably. We'll address it another day. Anywho, I've got a nice little collection of pins that I like to show off around the parks every now and then. My main collection is Stitch, in case you all are wondering. But if I'm planning on wearing one of my favorite pins on like a jacket or hat or any bag other than the ones with the little plastic window protectors on them, you are not going to find me relying on the rubber Mickey pin backs that these pins come with, because they're unreliable, and I've lost one too many pins to the concrete jungle just because I thought, meh, this Mickey back is probably okay for now. Yeah, safe to say that's no longer my thought process. Instead, I've got a collection of butterfly pin backs that I've gathered from my local craft stores that I use to secure these little beauties instead. These backs lock in place, giving my pins a whole lot more security and giving me way more peace of mind.
Okay, I'm back again. Now, if you have any food allergies or specific dining accommodations you need to account for, don't worry about not being able to eat around the parks. Disney's getting better and better about working with those who have different dietary needs. Before your trip, check out the online menus for the quick service and table service restaurants. Many of the allergy conscientious menu items are provided there, so you can plan what you're going to order ahead of time. You can also request to see the allergy binders Disney has at their quick service and snack locations. These provide an organized list of all the ingredients you can find in each of the restaurant's meals. And if you're at a sit-down restaurant, just ask to see the chef. This is something that is very common. Lots of people with allergies do this, and it's super, super helpful. And the chefs are very happy to come out, kind of walk you through the menu and let you know what they might be able to create for you off menu that suits your specific allergies. Now, although Disney does its best to accommodate for these different needs, just know that many meals are not prepared in allergy-friendly kitchens, just in a separate part of the same kitchen. So if you're hypersensitive to a certain type of food, you may want to avoid restaurants that specialize in it. For instance, don't book a reservation for paddlefish or the boathouse in Disney Springs if you've got a severe shellfish allergy. When you go to Animal Kingdom and Epcot and Hollywood Studios, booze is readily available on the menus, pretty much everywhere. But the same can't be said in Magic Kingdom, and that's because when Walt Disney opened Disneyland Park back in 1955, he famously made it an alcohol-free park, and Magic Kingdom followed the same suit. But in 2012, Magic Kingdom broke its own rules when Be Our Guest restaurant opened over in New Fantasyland, since it started serving a small selection of wines and beers. Today, each of Magic Kingdom's sit-down table service locations now has a selection of wine, beer, and cocktails that you can accompany with your meals. But don't try to seek out the adult beverages at the park's quick services and snack kiosks, because you're going to come up dry. You cannot buy alcohol and take it to go in Magic Kingdom. Can't walk around with it. You will only be able to buy alcohol in a table service restaurant in Magic Kingdom. Fellow soda goblins, guess what? There's a meet and greet experience just made for you and me. At the Coca-Cola store in Disney Springs, you can meet the Coca-Cola polar bear on the second floor of the shop. Daily hours for this only slightly scary guy are subject to change, but if you're really dedicated to meeting the Coca-Cola polar bear, you can call 407-560-0107 for daily polar bear hours. The M&M store will sometimes bring out the M&M characters for limited time meet and greets too, but these tend to pop up more on the weekends whenever they do happen, like on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evenings. If you're trying to snag a virtual queue on the My Disney Experience app for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind in Epcot, typically you're only going to have 2 windows of opportunity to snag it. Your first shot is at 7 a.m. and your second shot, if you didn't get a boarding group for it early, is at 1 p.m. But there is a third secret virtual queue opportunity for any guests who are eligible to attend extended evening hours on select dates in Epcot, which will give you up to 2 extra hours in the park after it closes for everyone else. And those are going to be for the guests staying at Disney's deluxe resorts. Again, on select evenings only, but you can learn about when those select evenings are happening on the Disney World website via their park hours and events page. Just look for extended evening hours. This third virtual queue opens at 6 p.m. on the dot, but you do not have to be inside Epcot in order to join. So in short, you do have to be inside Epcot for the 1 p.m. virtual queue drop, but not for the 7 a.m. or 6 p.m. virtual queue drops. So that extended evening hours benefit sounds awfully nice, but those deluxe resort price tags sure don't. So what's a person to do when caught in this predicament? Here's the thing, friends. You don't have to pay Disney World deluxe hotel prices to get this perk. Instead, you can book a stay at the Walt Disney World Swan and Dolphin and Swan Reserve, which can run you as low as $300 or sometimes less per night and still give you all the same perks that Disney World deluxe hotels get you, meaning you can take advantage of both early theme park entry and extended evening hours. Swan and Dolphin are also both within walking distance to Epcot and Hollywood Studios, so that is super convenient. Granted that prices for these rooms could change. There are nights that these are $1,000 a night, and it all depends on when you book your stay and how busy those particular locations are, because they're both conference hotels, so lots of conferences in and out. But if you happen to hit it on a time they don't have a conference, you could get a great deal. Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa doesn't have the word spa in its name for nothing. Grand Floridian Spa features an all-service spa with a variety of treatments for you to choose from, including massages and manicures, pedicures, hair styling, and more. Spa prices vary depending on what treatment you book, but each treatment can be booked online, though walk-in appointments may be available during your visit too, on a first-come, first-served basis. Now, don't make fun of me because this is very important information, and you will be thankful for it when you decide to visit Disney at the beginning of the year when there's a slight nip in the air and a nice bowl of soup is going to warm you right up. Soup number 1, lobster bisque at multiple locations. I don't know why, but Disney's really good at making a mean lobster bisque. If you want one of the best creamy and buttery lobster bisques during a nice sit-down meal, head to Yachtsman Steakhouse at Yacht Club Resort. But if you're cool with grabbing lobster bisque from a quick service location and inside a bread bowl too, pick it up from L'Oeil Boulangerie Patisserie over in Epcot. Soup number 2, literally all the Boma soups. Nearly every soup featured on the Boma buffet line is a winner, but we especially love the carrot ginger soup, the butternut squash, the coconut chicken curry soup, love that corn chowder. Again, we just love Animal Kingdom Lodge food in general. Soup number 3, French onion soup at multiple locations. Just like lobster bisque, Disney's also really good at making super delicious French onion soup, so you can find it at several spots around property. Our all-time favorite place to grab this cheesy delicacy is Steakhouse 71 inside the Contemporary Resort. You can also get it at Be Our Guest Restaurant in Magic Kingdom, and of course at Chefs de France inside Epcot. Soup number 4, strawberry soup at 1900 Park Fair. Now, let's say you're on the hunt for a soup that's more refreshing and kind of reminds you of a fruit smoothie more than a bowl of chicken noodle. 1900 Park Fair over in the Grand Floridian Resort has a famous strawberry soup featured on their buffet line that you can pick up during breakfast or dinner. You can also top it off with fresh strawberries and as much whipped cream as your heart desires. Soup number 5, wild mushroom bisque at Artist Point. It might come in teeny tiny sippable portions, but we love it all the same. The wild mushroom bisque at Artist Point and Wilderness Lodge is made with chive oil and pureed into a thicker soup consistency. The earthy mushroom flavor is pretty subtle, so even those who are usually mushroom averse might still enjoy this one. It's super creamy, and when I say creamy, very rich, like there's a lot of cream in there. Now, if you are old school and you used to love going to Artist Point for this mushroom bisque, back in the day before it was a character meal, this is the same stuff. And by the way, if you don't want to go all the way to Artist Point to get it, you can head over to Territory Lounge next door and order it. It's not on the menu, but you can get it. Soup number 6, Canadian cheddar cheese soup at Le Cellier Steakhouse. This is a classic. It isn't just cheesy, it also has the flavors of smoky bacon and tangy beer elevating it. You've got those onions in there. You can also find this soup over at the Canada Food booth during Epcot's Food and Wine Festival. Soup number 7, Crema de Elote at La Hacienda de San Angel. You're about to learn how much I love creamy corn stuff because I love it a lot. Now, the Crema de Elote at La Hacienda is pretty much why you're going to find me at this restaurant. Now, it's not always on the menu, heads up, so take a look at the menu before you go. This is a cream of corn soup served in 2 parts. One bowl contains corn, tortilla strips, seasoning, and sour cream and hot sauce, and the server adds the creamy soup on top. I hope you get to try it someday. It is so good, but I don't think it's currently on the menu. Still, keep an eye out for it. Let's talk about Characterpalooza next. Every now and then, when the stars align during your trip, you might witness a bunch of Disney characters congregating around a certain section of a park, like near the American Adventure Pavilion, or right in front of the International Gateway in Epcot, or in the courtyard of Tower of Terror inside Hollywood Studios. This seemingly random happenstance is called Characterpalooza. During a Characterpalooza, cast members who are wearing blue polos will tag along with their fellow character friends to help them meet and greet in a much smaller setting. That way, these characters can practice interacting with guests in a much less populated environment. These Characterpaloozas aren't advertised and tend to pop up at random, but if you do come across one, the lines won't be as long for them, and the characters might be some you don't typically get to see on a regular basis. Lots of rare characters in there. Are the souvenir prices in the parks looking a little too steep for your liking? Of course they are. You can always step out of the Disney bubble for a bit and check out what some of the outlets and character warehouses have available. Orlando's Disney character warehouses have shelves filled with authentic Disney products. Honestly, Disney just had a little too much of these. The excess product fills the store and is often highly discounted. Not always, but usually. The 2 character warehouse locations in Orlando can both be found in Orlando Premium Outlets nearby. One is on the International Drive and the other is on Vineland Avenue, closer to Disney Springs. Even if you don't have time during your trip to swing by one of these character warehouse locations, you can still shop for a lot of in-park merchandise on the Disney Store website too. You may even find a great deal for free shipping or another discount that might make your purchase even cheaper than if you were to have bought it in the parks. Earlier this year, the My Disney Experience app made an important update that we just can't get over because it's really made booking dining reservations so much easier. Before the update, we were in the dark ages. You could only search for restaurant reservations for one day at a time, and for each new reservation you wanted to make, you'd have to go back and adjust your restaurant search accordingly. But now we are living in the future, my friends, where you can see what restaurants are available multiple days out, making it much easier to plan when you want to dine at a certain restaurant. Not only that, but you can also choose what available reservations you want to have shown to you. Restaurant reservation listings are divided into 3 categories. The first is morning, breakfast time, which is any reservation before noon. The second is afternoon or lunch, which is any reservation between noon and 4. And the third is evening or dinner, which is any reservation after 4 p.m. You can also search for all-day reservations as well to see which restaurants still have an abundance of availability left over. Now, shout out to our DFB reader, Nicole, for this crucial piece of advice. Thanks, bunches, Nicole. If you're using the Disney dining plan during your trip, which is a way to prepay for your meals and snacks before your vacation, double check your receipts, even if you're using Disney dining plan credits to pay for your food, just to make sure the math is mathing. Nicole ended up being charged twice for a meal while using the Disney dining plan, and while mistakes happen, you definitely don't want to overpay for a Disney restaurant when they're already so pricey to begin with. So if you see any discrepancies on your total bill, or if you see any discrepancies in how many credits you have left, don't be afraid to politely ask your server about them so they can get it fixed for you right away. We love dining around the Disney World lounges, but for some lounges, there's a catch. Certain spots like Enchanted Rose at Grand Floridian, Cruise Cup Lounge at Yacht Club, and Trader Sam's Grog Grotto and Tiki Terrace at Polynesian Village Resort, along with a handful of others, won't start serving their lounge bites until later in the afternoon or evening. So you're not going to want to rely on those locations for lunch unless you're willing to have a much later lunch that borders dinner time. But here are two pieces of good news to go along with that. One, if you check these lounge menus online before your trip, each of them should list right there at the top of the page when they'll start serving lounge bites, so you don't have to go here the day of and just hope for the best. And two, if you aren't seeing any lounge bite times listed on the menu, then that probably means the lounge you're wanting to dine and drink at more than likely shares the same hours as its connected restaurant counterpart. This includes the Steakhouse 71 Lounge inside the Contemporary Resort, Citrico's inside Grand Floridian, and the Hollywood Brown Derby Lounge in Hollywood Studios. Each night at Park Close, the skies around the World Showcase Lagoon light up when Luminous, the Symphony of Us, is about to begin and make us sob uncontrollably, even though we've already seen the show a dozen odd times before. It's that music, man, it just gets to ya. On most days, though, Epcot closes at 9 p.m., which is right when Luminous starts. And while you're more than welcome to stand around the World Showcase Lagoon to watch this one for free, which is what most folks will do, you can also view the show from the comfort of a table service location for dinner, served with a side of nighttime spectacular. La Hacienda de San Angel over in the Mexico Pavilion sits right on the water of the World Showcase Lagoon. Not only does this restaurant have a hearty menu of Mexican-inspired cuisine, plus that crema de elote soup sometimes, but there are huge windows lining the dining room here that give you a great view of the fireworks going on outside. Shikisai Sushi Izakaya inside the Japan Pavilion also has select tables where you can enjoy your sushi with an elevated view of the show. And if you want a guaranteed restaurant view for Luminous, Spice Road Table in the Morocco Pavilion and Rose and Crown in the UK Pavilion do offer fireworks dining packages, though you might also get a decent look at the fireworks at either of these restaurants regardless just by booking your dining reservation at the right time. So if you're looking for real bougie fireworks extravaganzas, Monsieur Paul provides an elevated view of the show along with a prefix 7-course menu. Now note, the windows here are very small, so you kind of need to have a window table, and not all tables are window tables. So not all tables are going to get that fireworks view. Just a heads up on this one, because it's real expensive and you don't want to go thinking everyone's going to get a fireworks view and then you don't. So why do we recommend making reservations for 8 p.m. instead of 9 p.m. when the show actually kicks off? To help guarantee that you're seated and dining before Luminous begins. If you want an up-close and personal look at the Animal Kingdom Lodge Savannah, the Starlight Safari is going to transport you and your group in an open-air vehicle around those wide-open spaces after the sun sets to get a front-row view of the 20 different species roaming the grounds. But how are you actually going to see all that wildlife in the dark? With super cool night vision goggles, of course. Animals and superpowers, we are in. And guess what else? You do not have to be staying as a guest in Animal Kingdom Lodge to make reservations for this tour. As long as you got the cash and means to get over to this deluxe hotel, you're good to go. Starlight Safari is $75 to $89 per person, and you can book reservations one of two ways. You can either A, search for Starlight Safari on the My Disney Experience app and make reservations online, or B, call 407-WDW-TOUR and have a cast member help you secure your spot in the safari vehicle. Adventurers must be at least 8 years old or over to participate in this one. Sometimes it feels like Disney needs one of those signs that says X days without a My Disney Experience glitch because technology fails us inside the parks all the time. All the time. Now, if the My Disney Experience app crashes during your visit, there's a chance that things like lightning lane selections, restaurant reservations, mobile orders, and boarding groups for virtual queues could be wiped out. And that's sure to make your heart do a little flippity-floppity. So what should you do to avoid the panic-inducing fate? Screenshot, everyone. Screenshot. Every time you book something and get confirmation in the My Disney Experience app, take that screenshot just in case. Then if the system does go down or the app has a glitch, you can pull up these receipts when you're relaying what happened to the cast members over at Guest Services. These screenshots will make it a whole lot easier for CMs to help you find the best solution for your current glitchy predicament. If you're over at the flagship Joffrey's Coffee location at Disney Springs, you can order Latte Art for an extra 50 cents. How does this work? It's easy. First, pick any cappuccino or latte you'd like, then download the Ripples app onto your phone. If you don't want to download it, the shop also has a tablet with the app already preloaded if you'd prefer to use that instead. Once you open the app and choose the Joffrey's Coffee location, upload the picture you want printed on your coffee. Then, voila, you're holding a masterpiece in a cup. If you think it's kind of weird to print your own face onto coffee foam, you can put on another profile instead, maybe your pet. There are also default Disney characters you can choose to have printed in your cup of joe, or you can even print a proposal in the foam and hand it over to that special someone that you want to pop the question to. Just make sure Aunt Susan doesn't try to take a sip of it first and ruin the whole thing, because she's been known to do that. Look, I'm not here to judge you on your soda of choice. Soda goblins don't do that, but Beverly? Is it really Beverly that you want? Like the bitter one that you can sample for free inside Epcot's Club Cool? Okay, well, I guess I'll go ahead and tell you where you can get a full-sized cup of Beverly. This puts us back over at the Coca-Cola store in Disney Springs. Hey, Polar Bear, long time no see. How's the wife and kids? On the top floor of the Coca-Cola store, you'll find the rooftop beverage bar, which serves a variety of Coca-Cola drinks, including full sizes of international sodas like Inca Cola, Sprite Cucumber, and yes, Beverly too. Drink up. Stop the presses. There is a new happy hour at Disney Springs. The Edisons launched a brand new happy hour for folks looking to grab an afternoon cocktail and a few bites for a lower price point. Happy hour at the Edison runs Sunday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. But remember, if you want to know all the happy hours in Disney World, go ahead and grab our DFB Guide to Walt Disney World Dining over at dfbstore.com. They're all in there. I mean, yeah, I don't know how else to sell you on this point. It sounds like a pretty picture-perfect evening with me. Eat snacks on a boat with fireworks. Fireworks cruises are available for Magic Kingdom's Happily Ever After show over at the Magic Kingdom Area Resort Marinas. But you can also book one of Epcot's Luminous Show fireworks cruises over at Yacht and Beach Club. During either cruise, your group of up to 10 cruisers will board a pontoon boat that'll be driven by your own personal captain for the evening. While on board, you'll be treated to an assortment of snacks and beverages, and of course, a gorgeous, unique view of the fireworks spectacular. And if you're celebrating something big in your group, make sure to mention that while booking the reservation, since banners and balloons don't cost anything extra if you want them decking out your boat ride. You can make a reservation for one of these fireworks cruises by calling 407-WDW-PLAY, and the cost of these cruises tend to range between $449 to $499, though prices are subject to change. Here is a very, very cool hack we just figured out. Okay, refillable popcorn bucket dilemma you might not have considered, but it happens. Believe me, it happens. If you get your popcorn in one of Disney's refillable buckets, you can keep going back for discounted refills at participating popcorn kiosks. The problem? If you get one of the basic bucket designs, the cover falls right off all the time, and suddenly you're going to find yourself living out the Hansel and Gretel fairy tale with a whole trail of buttery popcorn scattered behind you, or even worse, in your park bag. But we have a solution. Meet a giant rubber band from Amazon.com. Okay, it's not like a typical rubber band, it's a really cool rubber band. It's giant and colorful and straps around your bucket nicely so you don't have to stress over whether or not you're gonna have a kernel catastrophe at any given point throughout the day. Nobody needs a buttery iPhone. What better way to start your Disney day than by having the Mickey Mouse personally call your hotel room to say good morning and rise and shine? It's super easy to set up a character wake-up call at your Disney resort for each morning of your trip. See that phone on the bedside table? Pick it up and press the wake-up call button. When prompted, you'll just enter the time you want to receive a ring from a Disney friend. More than likely, it'll be Mickey Mouse on the other line greeting you, but every now and then another character might pop on to say hello as well. So if you're bringing your electric car to Disney World, you'll likely want or need to charge it up during your stay. And Disney knows that all too well, which is why there are a number of charging stations available across the theme parks and hotels. The majority of them are available through the ChargePoint app, though there are some that are separate and not associated with that app whatsoever. At any rate, be sure to download the app ahead of time and explore it so that you can be familiar with all of its facets. You'll want to set up your account, put in the information about your vehicle, set up your payment method, select your notification settings, and more all ahead of time so that when you arrive, your charging process will be a breeze. I know, it feels good to have the best Disney World trip ever laid out ahead of you, but even if you aren't going to the park super soon, we're glad to have you here with us, and we would love to know what you'd like to see featured in our videos in the future. So leave us a little message in the comments. Make sure to tune back here for more Disney World content to come. And don't forget to check out the dfbstore.com website if you want to snag one of our ultra detailed DFB dining guides before your trip. They are 100% money back guaranteed. We put so much work and effort into them. I'm sure you'll love it, but if you don't, you can get your money back. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Vlog, and we'll see you real soon.